Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a bit different as I decided to do a deep dive into the 2024 video game Quidditch Champions. Let's just jump right into it because it's a massive black hole. Quidditch Champions is a video game featuring the world's most iconic magical sport. Immerse yourself in the enchanting world of Quidditch by playing solo or sharing the magic with friends and family. The game was published by Warner Bros. Games under the Portkey Games label, which is just categorizing all Wizarding World games under WB Games. Unbroken Studios is the developer. I have to say, calling all the Wizarding World games from WB Games as a Portkey Games is pretty genius. A portkey is an object that transports you, and these games are meant to transport you into the Wizarding World. Perhaps to WB Games where it's due. Now that we got the basics out of the way, let's actually discuss Unbroken Studios, because this is where the rabbit hole begins. Unbroken Studios was founded back in 2013, is based in Los Angeles, California, and has around 80 employees, some of which have come from mega hits like Battlefield, Call of Duty, God of War, and the Arkham series. That sounds impressive, but unfortunately, it's not, and I'll show you momentarily why. Besides the fact that their website is clunky, text overlaps, and has unfinished areas, the website does give us a great bit of information.
I didn't know you could read.
Let's look at the long list of games they developed. Oh wait. Including Quidditch Champions, Unbroken Studios has only developed 4 games. Shall we look at the games? We shall. In 2015, Fantastic Plastic Squad was released. It was a self-published mobile game. This mobile game no longer exists. On July 31st, 2018, Fracture Lands was released. Again, this Unbroken Studios game was self-published, but this time for PC. It was a 100-person battle royale game that received mixed reviews. Once again, this game no longer exists. You can still find the page on Steam though, and both Metacritic and IGN didn't even bother giving it a rating. And in 2024, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was released. Unbroken Studios co-developed this game, and it was released on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. This game has lost over $200 million. And now, also in 2024, Quidditch Champions, developed completely by Unbroken Studios. You're probably thinking, why on earth did Warner Bros. Partner with this company that does not have a successful range of games? Why only 3 other video games prior to Quidditch Champions? And of those 2, only 2 prior to Warner Bros. Partnering with them. You would think they would work with another developer with more seasoned vets, no? Does this sound like a great financial move? I bet you Warner Bros. Is rethinking their strategies now.
New timeline! New timeline!
Let's continue to navigate their website. Their mission statement is, at Unbroken Studios, we strive for a culture where employees can be their best selves and feel valued. We believe that workplaces and gaming communities must be diverse and inclusive of all people regardless of race, sex, religion, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or gender identity. We affirm that trans women are women, trans men are men, and people of all varied gender identities have the right to exist and to thrive in gaming spaces and a society as a whole. Our games are created by a multicultural team of diverse backgrounds and identities. Our team's unique experiences and perspectives drive our vision and passion for making great games. We don't always agree with the views of the IP creators, but we always find beauty and joy in creating inclusive spaces and experiences. What did you notice from their mission statement? A nice dig at good old J.K. Rowling. They are spiteful with her and covering their own backs by saying that we affirm trans women are women and trans men are men. That way, the woke left cannot come after Unbroken Studios for developing a Harry Potter video game and working for the devil, because they are flat out rejecting Rowling's opinion. In fact, their LinkedIn account has a Transgender Day of Remembrance post. But hey, at least one of the employees brought her cat to work. But speaking of employees, I was going through the list of employees on their website, and this person stuck out for obvious reasons. I clicked on their profile on LinkedIn, and boy did I find some answers. So first, some context. As I was writing the script for you all, I stumbled upon this Reddit thread that proclaimed that Quidditch Champions was developed prior to Hogwarts Legacy. I snorted and I was like, if that's the case, we are in some serious trouble, because if this game took over 7 years to make and this was the end product, then we need to be having a mega round of layoffs because people can't create video games anymore. As it happens, for a very long time now, I have been trying to figure out just how long this game was in development for. I didn't expect to find answers by clicking on a random employee. On a first attempt, too. Let's look at this employee, Ellis, who is a systems engineer. who accidentally told the entire world just how long Harry Potter Quidditch Champions has been in development for. Since 2016. Because this is all this Ellis has listed. From 2016 to present, online systems engineer for Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. That means that this game was in development for 8 stinking years. That is more years than Hogwarts Legacy, which was developed in 2017, as in 2018, footage was leaked. Now this is super embarrassing, as Unbroken Studios was backed by Warner Brothers Games, one of the biggest gaming companies in the world. Regardless if Unbroken Studios has less than 90 employees, this game should have done spectacularly well, especially since it was in development for 8 years. Just compare it with some indie games who produce spectacular games with a small budget and in half the time. Hogwarts Legacy was marketed for a very long time, with the first trailer being shown on September 16, 2020, 3 years before launching in February of 2023. Granted, the game was delayed several times. But with Quidditch Champions, there was no marketing of this game just before launch. In fact, the first real trailer was posted on June 7th, 2024, just under 3 months to the launch date of September 3rd, or 88 days. In fact, the Quidditch Champions official YouTube account only has 4,000 subscribers, and the trailer only has 33,000 views. However, it was posted to the official Harry Potter channel, which boasts over 1.8 million subscribers, and the same trailer over 203,000 views. Other than posting on the Harry Potter social media pages, there was no real marketing. It was just dumped out like Harry on number 4 Privet Drive. And a reminder, this game was in development prior to Hogwarts Legacy. So what else went wrong? The launch of the game. The standard edition is $29.99 and the deluxe costs $39.99. The game was released only digital on September 3rd, 2024, and boy did it have its launch issues. First off, it was free to play on PlayStation Plus for the month of September. Keep that in mind for later on. It was also available on Xbox Series X, S, and One, as well as the Epic and Steam stores on PC. The launch was riddled with mishaps from both PlayStation and Xbox. The game did not launch on Nintendo Switch, which amazingly needed more time and was released on November 8th of 2024. The physical launch of the game was also delayed, releasing as well as on November 8th, 2024, and in Japan, the game was physically released on December 6, 2024. Now this type of launch is unacceptable given all that we have just uncovered. Just imagine having to wait over 2 months just to be able to play this game from a physical copy, and after everyone else has already tried and ditched the game.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous!
Now I want to preface that I did not buy this game. A friend of mine decided to troll me in early November 2024 and bought it for me on sale. I tried it out. It was not fun. You can actually watch the full live stream on my YouTube channel. I did want to point out that I didn't receive my playtest emblems, which I think I should have received the second and third emblem, as there are 3. Did they take away my playtest emblem? Because I missed the first playtest. For context, I did about 6 playtests for this game, and I think I missed one of the later ones. So in all, I think I missed like 2 playtests, which is why I believe I shouldn't have had the first emblem, but should have had the second and third emblem. I was annoyed I didn't receive my playtest emblems, and contacted WB Games from the in-game support section. Within the hour, I received my emblems. I want to emphasize that this is spectacular customer service from WB Games. It was late at night, 9 p.m., when I contacted them, and by 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. I had already received an email saying that my emblems would be back in the game the next time I logged in. That's phenomenal service. The game itself looks artistically bad. It looks cheap, sloppy, and lazy. The characters are androgynous and ugly. There are pronouns in your character creator, which is explained that it is for the announcers to address your character correctly. They, them is the first option, then she, her, and then he, him. Why are males last and they, them first? Why cater to a small percentage of people first? This doesn't seem like a smart idea for businesses. The pronoun debacle is especially insulting because this 21st century problem is not an issue in the wizarding world. Neither is race. Blood status and tension between magical creatures and humans was the bigger issue. The entire Wizarding World story is an allegory. For example, purebloods often felt they were superior to half-bloods and muggle-born magical folk. House elves were slaves, and half-breeds, aka centaurs, were harassed and attacked for being half human, half horses.
Filthy half-breed!
Now for the actual gameplay, it's super disjointed and has no flow. There's honestly too much going on because the developers really focused on flashy and quick animations to really appease the TikTok youth, I guess. The whole playing with AI bit was a huge turnoff too. I could literally just let my AI teammates do all the work and score for me. I understand now that there is a 6v6 pro mode of live players, but it's honestly too little, too late, and my interest is gone. There was also a missing Quidditch player, a second beater as well. From what I understand, it was for gameplay and mechanics, but it was still a dumb decision in my opinion. All these special features and art design just reminded me of Fortnite with a Quidditch theme painted over it, from the silly broom trails, unfinished skins, to the modern gaming hairstyles. How can this game not be compared to Fortnite? Side note, I don't understand why there's an entire section dedicated to picking out your wand when we aren't casting spells except for emotes and victory poses. And also, bringing in one-dimensional characters from Hogwarts Legacy just to give this game a boost is pathetic. Looking at Reddit threads of this video game, many had similar opinions. It was very awkward to play, it didn't interest people, no one asked for a Quidditch sports game. Many were annoyed that this game wasn't a part of Hogwarts Legacy, even though the 2023 game was developed by Avalanche, not Unbroken Studios. I can understand their sentiment. I think had this game looked and felt like Hogwarts Legacy, and not so childish, I think it would have done spectacularly well. A few months later, at the time of recording, which is December 9th, 2024, I figured we would look at how Quidditch Champions is doing on SteamDB, which is Steam's database. That can tell you how many people are currently playing a specific game on Steam, aka PC. I'm going to assume that this database excludes all who exempt themselves from data collecting. As you can see, this has severely dropped off since launch of September 3rd, 2024. And only 101 players are currently playing right now. But let's just take a quick gander at Twitch. No one is streaming Quidditch Champions on Twitch. Let's just try Kick. Nobody's also streaming on Kick either. But let's just look back to SteamDB for a second. As you can see, it's dropped massively. In fact, it's been a steady decline since it launched, with a launch of 6,574 people. For a game that comes from one of the biggest franchises in the world, this is embarrassing. On December 7th, 2024, 3 months post-launch, I decided to take another look at all the statistics. As you can see, not much has changed from December 7th to December 9th. There were some players on Twitch, but not enough to scream, "Oh my goodness, look, we've made a comeback." To further hone how bad this game is, even IGN gave it a 6. You know when IGN can't even give it above a 7, you know it's a subpar game. Now, let's just take a step back and look at the bigger picture. WB Games has a fantastic year in 2023, so much so that Hogwarts Legacy was the best-selling game of the year. The news was shouted from the rooftops. Hogwarts Legacy dethroned Call of Duty. Looking at SteamDB, you can see the game is still doing pretty well. But there's more. When Hogwarts Legacy was launched back in February of 2023, Warner Brothers was quick to release the sales. The game had sold over 12 million copies 2 weeks after launch. What a feat. But why hasn't the sales of Quidditch Champions been released all these months later? What is WB Games hiding? This, to me, looks like a game that has flopped amazingly well, but not a peep has been said about it. Like I said, there is no concrete mention of sales. We can guess, however. A website called Gamealytic keeps track of PC Steam sales and estimates revenue from it. The site estimates that it made a revenue of $1.6 million just from the copies sold. Now, of course, this doesn't include any expenses since its development inception back in 2016. VG Insights, a similar data site, has a corresponding estimate on their website as well. I want to reiterate that we do not know what the budget for Quidditch Champions was. We have no idea, unfortunately. To further prove this, we don't have any official stats of players besides SteamDB. We have no idea how many are on PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo Switch. This is all I could find for PlayStation. Play Tracker and PSN profiles. Again, if the statistics are correct, then the recent players number is abysmal. One, for Hogwarts Legacy, the first month of release player count was bragged about even on Forbes. And what's worse, according to True Trophies, the PlayStation 5 player base disappeared by nearly 50% in 1 week. Quidditch Champions has had the second biggest PlayStation Plus launch for 2024. But remember, this game was free to play with PlayStation Plus in September of 2024. After 1 week, it dropped by 48%. That's devastating, especially when you consider that this game was free to play and you didn't have to pay a cent on it. Not even a free-to-play game could keep its statistics up. That tells you a lot.
That's rubbish! That's rubbish! You don't know what you're doing!
In fact, WB Discovery President and CEO David Zaslav stated that we recognize the game business is substantially underperforming its potential right now. At the time of recording this video, I had estimated that the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game would actually end its run in 2025, the very latest in 2026. But I've actually had to go and refilm this entire section because lo and behold, whilst I'm actually editing this video, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League will have its final live season, and then that is it. The game is done. This comes from Warrior64. The game will continue to be available for purchase, but the live run is done. So there you go. I was right. I had estimated that Quidditch Champions would end its live service run at the end of 2025, the latest of 2026. I am now thinking that might be ended earlier because of how much money it lost. But time will tell. Remember Alice, the employee from Unbroken Studios? Well, Alice just told me that Unbroken Studios will be laying off people at the end of 2024. Now, this is not something I celebrate. However, if you're not fit for the job and cannot produce something of quality, then that's another story. After the absolute flop of Quidditch Champions, we can't be surprised there are layoffs. After all, the failure of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League also resulted in layoffs from Rocksteady. In fact, Alice isn't the only Unbroken Studios employee looking for work. Yu Sun, a senior 3D artist at Unbroken Studios, also announced that he's looking for work. Alice's post further confirms that Quidditch Champions has been in development since 2016, since they haven't had to look for a new job in nearly 9 years. Ironically, in my last video containing Quidditch Champions news, the Quidditch Champions Has a Bot Problem Explained Censored Edition, I was talking about the development years, and I was trying to figure out how many years, and this random person, Blue Deep Dive, insisted on saying it was 7 years but had no factual claim to it. So this person was either coincidentally correct, or they knew information. Now if you enjoyed the video game, that's awesome. Good for you. Video games are meant to be enjoyable, but for me, this game was not it, and I would rather go play the 2003 Quidditch World Cup by EA Games, or even Hogwarts Legacy, and that game has its massive issues. It's no surprise that this game flopped, given Unbroken Studios as well. Unbroken Studios. Anyways, if you made it this far, I thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts below, including if you enjoyed the game or not. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!